Dames en here, die akademiese prosesie sal binnekort inbeweeg. U word versoek om asseblief op te staan.
Bomma le bontate, moloko-loko wa diruteri o tla tsena mo nakong e kopana. Le kgopelwa ho ema. Ladies and gentlemen, the academic procession will enter shortly. You're kindly requested to stand.
By the power vested in me, I hereby constitute this assembly as a legal congregation of the University of Pretoria. During this assembly, degrees with all of the associated rights and privileges will be conferred on the candidates whose names appear in the program. Please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, I request you to join us in silent prayer or meditation to give thanks to the achievement of our students. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as Acting Vice Principal of the University of Pretoria, I extend a hearty word of welcome to you at this very special graduation ceremony. I would like to welcome in particular order the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, Built Environment and Information Technology, Professor Wynand Steyn, the Acting Dean, Professor Alta van der Merwe, the Deputy Dean, Professor James Miner, the Deputy Director, Student Administration, Ms. June Peterson, Chairpersons of schools, heads of departments, directors, emeriti, honorary professors and other lecturers and their spouses. The representative of the Student Representative Council, who will present the SRC academic honorary colours, all persons to whom degrees will be conferred this morning, and then all spouses, parents, and other parties, as well as dignitaries that we may not be aware of. A very warm welcome to this spring graduation ceremony of the Faculty of Engineering, Built Environment and Information Technology at the University of Pretoria. It is indeed for me a privilege to officiate at this event where 249 degrees will be conferred, including no less than 24 doctorates and 69 master's degrees. This session is the first of our week-long spring graduation celebrations, during which a total of 2,162 qualifications will be awarded or conferred. I've been at the University of Pretoria for many years, and still, each graduation session is such a special occasion, and each graduate is a guest of honor. Welcome to each and every one of you. Indeed, you look splendid in your academic regalia as you sit here in front of me. Congratulations. Well done on achieving a hard-earned dream. Give yourself a round of applause. Special recognition and a word of sincere thanks also to your families, your significant others, your academic mentors and leaders, and to every person who was involved in your academic journey. They also deserve a resounding round of applause for their contribution to your academic success. Ladies and gentlemen, as an accountant, I'm particularly fond of figures, numbers. That is my trade. If you add the number of students who graduated in autumn in 2024, an April-May graduation ceremony, to the cohorts of our spring graduates, the total number of graduates for 2024 is 14,673 degrees and certificates. Now, if you add this number to more than 250,000 alumni who've passed through the doors of this institution, then undoubtedly the University of Pretoria is one of the most impactful skills developers in the country today. The Faculty of Engineering, Built Environment and IT, or EBIT as it is known colloquially, provides more than 1/3 of all engineers in the country. Being mindful of our historic past and with a view to finding workable and sustainable solutions, we provide and continue to provide the best possible education to our students. The University of Pretoria and the EBIT faculty are continuously transforming and improving our teaching and learning and our research landscape through innovative thinking and the high caliber of our academic staff. At the University of Pretoria, 72% of all of our academic staff hold doctoral degrees. This is the highest in the country. As one of the top universities on the African continent, the University of Pretoria is proud that its reputation precedes each UP graduate around the world. The degree programs offered by EBIT are both locally relevant and internationally competitive, and are accredited by statutory professional bodies both in South Africa and abroad. One of the competitive advantages in the undergraduate curriculum at the University of Pretoria is the Joint Community-Based Project, or JCP. In the Faculty of EBIT, this compulsory community engagement module provides a credit-bearing and enriched educational experience where students participate in service learning activities and they develop international skills. And in the process, they also make a huge contribution to broader society. More than 23,000 students have completed the JCP module since its inception in 2005. In the Faculty of EBIT, immersive technologies, including virtual and extended reality, expose our students to the work they will be doing in industry. With over more than 90 laboratories across 3 of the university's campuses, we provide students with state-of-the-art facilities and equipment to facilitate world-class learning and to prepare our students for real-world situations where they will that they will experience once they enter the workforce. The focus of academic staff is to improve their academic performance and to prepare our students as exceptionally qualified professionals who will help to shape the future of work. Exposing our students to new knowledge, global megatrends, technologies as they emerge, allows them to make a mind shift towards a future in which their unique talents and their experience will further develop and grow sustainable communities. The University of Pretoria also hosts a non-profit company for technology incubation and acceleration. And this incubator acts as a catalyst for the development of business technology clusters and has a strong impact on the growth of the South African economy. If we look more particularly at the rankings, in 2024, the QS World University Rankings by subject, particularly in the field of engineering and technology, we find that EBIT is one of few academic facilities in Africa to feature amongst the top 650 universities in the world in 5 subjects. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there are estimated to be about 20,000 universities globally. So to be in the top 650 is really exceptional. In the last month, we celebrated some major achievements by many of our female graduates in the EBIT faculty, who are breaking into what has previously been male-dominated fields. Of course, it's not only our women that are excelling, and we do not want to in any way diminish the extraordinary achievements of many of their male counterparts. But I thought, in coming out of Women's Month, I would like to share with you, with pride, some of the achievements of our female academics. A PhD student in EBIT reached the semi-finals of the International Climate and Energy Competition hosted by the very renowned MIT. A PhD student in chemical engineering has recently received a fellowship for research that seeks to improve the quality of water in Africa. A doctoral student in a doctoral student in electrical engineering has managed to balance her very full life, mother, wife, student, with her work as an academic, and she is exploring innovative approaches to energy efficiency. A homegrown postdoctoral fellow in computer engineering is researching ways to improve broadband wireless multimedia communication. And finally, a master's degree student in bioengineering research group is currently working on utilizing speech enhancement signal processing to improve people's quality of life. Indeed, she's helping to improve hearing. There are many achievements in this faculty that is testament to the quality and the relevance of the degrees in your faculty. And so, graduates, your hard work and your discipline has paid off. And so, as you prepare to walk across the stage this morning, I want you to revel in the success of realizing your dream and to take pride in the quality of your qualification. Then later, as you throw your caps into the air after the ceremony, I want you to symbolically unlock a world of uncapped potential. Then, when you return to the real world after your celebration, I want you to excel in your careers, drawing on your capabilities, your passion, your innovation, and your resilience. And then, once a tucky, always a tucky. So once you become rich and famous, as you invariably will, please remember the University of Pretoria, and please plow back into your alma mater as a proud alumnus and a generous donor. Please help our future graduates to also have the privilege that you've had. So my advice to our graduates, go forth and conquer the world. Thank you. I now request the Dean to introduce to me the candidates present whose names appear in the program.
Thank you, Madam Acting Vice Principal. The supervisors will now introduce the doctoral candidates.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Lydia Christina Carroll, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Quantitative Surveying with a thesis titled Framework to Develop a Credible Final Account System for South African Construction Projects, prepared under my supervision. In this thesis, Framework to Develop a Credible Final Account System for South African Construction Projects, the candidate explored all the post-contract administration necessary to develop a final account that signals the final agreed sum that the employer will pay the contractor, with no gaps and all appropriate supporting information. The candidate developed a final account template and guidance notes based on analysis of existing publications and opinions of registered professional quantity surveyors within South Africa. This document could guide the final account development and compilation process to ensure improved final accounts with fewer material irregularities. It guides all risk factors the entire project team must consider when managing their construction projects, ensuring the correct information is captured within the final account. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
Congratulations. Well done.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Yvonne Leonie Jacobs, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Construction Management with a thesis titled Barriers to the Implementation of Lean Construction Practices in South Africa, prepared under my supervision. In this thesis, the candidate identified barriers to implementing lean construction practices faced by practitioners in the South African construction industry. A literature review identified the most relevant barriers to implementing lean construction practices in the construction industry. Data was collected from suitably experienced practitioners in the construction industry using a questionnaire to identify barriers in the South African construction industry. The data collected was analyzed and results were compared with existing literature on barriers found elsewhere in the world to identify barriers prevalent in the South African context. The data was further used to identify barriers unique to the South African construction industry. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Elma Inge Pieterse, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Quantity Surveying with a thesis titled A Cost Model to Improve Short-Term Underinsurance of Residential Buildings in South Africa, prepared under my supervision. In this thesis, the candidate explored an innovative approach to a case-based reasoning-enabled technique for cost modeling of residential buildings. The technique is based on retrieving, reusing, revising, and retaining cases from a custom-built data set. The novelty of the technique is vested in employing the K-nearest neighbors, KNN machine learning algorithm to identify cases to be retrieved based on 14 building features and a mathematical-based reasoning method to revise the retrieved and reusable case into an acceptable replacement cost estimate for a new case to be retained and to enhance the data set further. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Paparushka Rogers, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Quantity Surveying with a thesis titled Influence of Carbon Tax on Office Buildings in South Africa, prepared under my supervision. In this thesis, the candidate explored the need to address climate change and the movement towards a zero-carbon environment. Greener building technologies, design and construction of net zero carbon buildings in other countries were investigated and a carbon tax was implemented. This study sought to reduce the impact of carbon tax on South African developers by developing a South African office building model that promotes carbon emission savings. A mixed method approach was used as a research method, and data was obtained from structured interviews and a comprehensive literature review to design an efficient office building model that promotes carbon emission savings. The study findings indicate that the office building model optimizes energy efficiency and the long-term cost savings by lower operational expenses, maintenance costs, other utility expenditures, and the carbon tax payable. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Elzaan van Eck, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Quantity Surveying with a thesis entitled Early Career Development of Candidate Quantity Surveyors, a focus on soft skills development prepared under my supervision as well as Dr. A.E. Chinyu as co-supervisor. In this thesis, the candidate proposed a framework to promote soft skills development among early career candidate quantity surveyors. The research explored how critical stakeholders in the quantity surveying profession can better support soft skills development by using a soft skill gap analysis. A quantitative research approach was adopted using statistical data analysis techniques. The framework is based on professional requirements, theoretical exploration, and empirical research, and it focuses on developing essential soft skills. Key elements scaffolding this essential soft skills development are recognition, pre-professional development, professional development, and competence assessment. The framework elements highlight the responsibilities and actions required from stakeholders towards the soft skills development of early career candidate quantity surveyors in South Africa. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Science in Real Estate. Yafta Maboko. Ephraim Mkize. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Town and Regional Planning. Tandiswa Mfazwe. Lehoho Rachidi. Glabisile Vilakati. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science Honours in Construction Management, Dylan Mostert. Tinashi Mupasviriwu. Emmanuel Williams. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science Honours in Quantity Surveying, Landela Mashalaba. Ntando Yenkosi Memela. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science Honours in Real Estate, Mfanokona Ndaba. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science in Real Estate, Chad Esterhuizen. Christian van Heerden. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Town and Regional Planning, Botemelu Mashlangu. Dinama Mkhoduka. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the supervisors will now introduce the doctoral candidates.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Derek John Beckedal, who has complied with its requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science with a thesis titled A Study of Biospace Search for Bin Packing Problems, prepared under my supervision as supervisor and Dr. Tambo Nyati as co-supervisor. In this thesis, A Study of Biospace Search for Bin Packing Problems, the candidate introduced a novel approach for exploring two search spaces, namely the heuristic space and the solution space concurrently using local search. The approach was evaluated on bin packing problems ranging from one-dimensional to three-dimensional problems. The study revealed that the concurrent search performed better than searching the heuristic space and solution spaces separately and outperformed the state-of-the-art approaches for higher dimension problems for several problem instances. The concurrent biospace search was also found to outperform previous biospace searches regarding both performance and computational cost. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Madoda Ayanda Kumalo, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science with a thesis titled Real-Time Task Schedulability Analysis via Spotlight Abstraction, prepared under my supervision with Dr. Niels Tim as co-supervisor. In his thesis, Real-Time Task Schedulability Analysis via Spotlight Abstraction, the candidate proposed a new approach to model check schedulability properties of real-time operating systems. Model checking is an efficient procedure for automatic software verification. A significant challenge in model checking is the so-called state explosion problem, whereby the model checker may run out of computational resources before a conclusive verification result can be obtained. To address this problem, the candidate proposed the spotlight abstraction method to enable the efficient verification of the schedulability properties. The techniques iteratively divided the scheduler task queue into a spotlight and a shade to create abstract models that can be efficiently verified. A software tool that implements this technique was developed. Experimental results show that the software performed better than the established tools in handling larger task set efficiently. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Glenn Trueo, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Science with a thesis titled Developing a Framework for Data Quality-Focused RDM to Guide the Data Management Planning Process in a Social Sciences Research Organization, prepared under the supervision of Dr. Marty van Deventer as well as myself as co-supervisor. In this thesis, the candidate considered the research data management, RDM, cycle for social sciences to incorporate best practices and ensure the efficient production of data outputs with proven levels of quality. The candidate gained an in-depth theoretical understanding of data quality and the best practices associated with data quality. The candidate integrated that with the quality management practices of experienced social sciences researchers. The candidate plotted these practices on an established framework. The study contributes a holistic approach to managing research data, including quality management activities. The RDM framework is layered and can be utilized during data management planning. It will allow researchers, principal investigators, and data curators to explicitly include data quality management throughout the research process, in contrast to introducing quality at the end of the project. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Senate Sylvia Mafike, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Technology, with a thesis titled Towards an Interoperability Framework for Blockchain in the Banking Sector, prepared under my supervision. In this thesis, Towards an Interoperability Framework for Blockchain in the Banking Sector, the candidate explored a comprehensive and practical roadmap to resolve blockchain interoperability challenges that impede technology uptake in enterprise environments. This pragmatic design science study, based on general systems theory, produced a progressive enterprise blockchain interoperability (EB) framework that advances our understanding of interoperability of blockchain technology beyond the conventional technical viewpoint of the extant literature. This research is among the few that have examined blockchain interoperability from technical, organizational, regulatory, and legal perspectives. Domain experts and illustrative scenarios demonstrated the efficacy and utility of the proposed framework. The framework establishes a coherent premise for the seamless integration of blockchain technology within enterprises, thereby promoting the widespread adoption of this innovative technology. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Maria Magrita Swanepoel, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Systems with a thesis title Enhancing User Experience of a Learning Management System within Higher Education, Chatbot Design Principles for Service Providers, prepared under my supervision as well as Prof. M.J. Hatting as co-supervisor. In this thesis, Enhancing Users' Experience of a Learning Management System, Chatbot Design Principles for Service Providers, the candidate addressed a critical issue in higher education. The study confronted the challenges associated with user experience in learning management systems by proposing a pioneering solution, an LMS integrated chatbot. Recognizing the absence of well-defined guidelines, the researcher employed a design science research methodology, incorporating a design thinking workshop approach with active LMS users. The resulting set of LMS chatbot design principles, spanning technical mechanisms, language usage, UX, and feedback mechanisms, filled a gap in both theoretical frameworks and practical applications. These principles provided a framework for LMS service providers to enhance the overall UX, aligning with Peter Morville's UX honeycomb model. This work underscores the crucial role of design principles in advancing knowledge dissemination within the information systems research domain. It also holds practical implications, potentially contributing to improving LMS user interactions in higher education institutions. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you S.V. Foster, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Information Systems with a thesis entitled Digital Innovation Strategy, a Framework for Creating Business Value for an Airline Organization, prepared under my supervision. In this thesis, the candidate aimed to develop an airline's digital innovation strategy to optimize business value, enhance customer service, and improve operational efficiency. It examined digitalization, past implementations, and future strategies. The study used an interpretive case study with online questionnaires and semi-structured interviews of employees, customers, and suppliers to identify critical factors like company culture, technological integration, and process efficiencies. The study introduced a multi-layered strategy model focusing on dynamic capabilities such as sensing, seizing opportunities, and transforming operations for agility and resilience. The framework streamlined operations, promoted agile project management, enhanced customer-centric product development, all while aligning digital transformation with business objectives. This work contributes to theoretical knowledge and practical applications, offering valuable insights into achieving sustained competitive advantage and operational excellence in the rapidly evolving airline industry, especially in post-pandemic recovery and technological advancement. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Information Science in Multimedia. Adolf Malan. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Information Technology in Big Data Science. Matthew Grobler. Masana Koza.
Over here. Over here.
Christian Klopper. Lester Kom. Matomi Ledwaba. Nandi Mnguni. Mokusu Mutapu. Tyler Ramnath. Kapei Sebeshu. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Information Technology in ICT Information Science. Nyabulu Mkize. Sherilyn Sundeji. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Information Technology in ICT Management. Vanessa Darwin with distinction. Ashley Hurigan. Maslotsa Letsebe. Portia Matumela. Shandukani Nemalali. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Information Technology in Information Systems. Abdullahi Yusuf. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master Science in Computer Science. Johan van Rooyen. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Information Science Honours. Olia Boise. Sharmila Kasai Matime. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Information Science Honours in Multimedia. Christoph Linde. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Information Technology Honours in Information Systems. Shahil Jeram. Sibusiso Solilu. Casper van Staden. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science Honours in Computer Science. Amukalani Chauki. Tanachwa Dendere. Michael Leforestier. William Morkel. Tawanda Muringani. Mapumba Ntumba. Akona Sekwati. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. Daniel Bezuidenhout. Farai Shivunga. Shashin Gounden. Tebe Gapola. Christopher Mittendorf. Triumph Ndlovu. Anru Nel. Wesley Pachai. Ruan Rousseau. Franco van Vuren. Juliana Venter. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science in Information and Knowledge Systems. Jonelle Albuquerque. Emily Dacru. Brett Duplessis. Darshan Gopal. Machere Matseba. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science, Information Science. Lucy Kachale. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all requirements for the degree Bachelor of Information Technology in Information Systems. Pavishan Nair. Lehlogonolo Nkadimeng. Darshan Pillay. Maite Sedibeng. Madam Acting Vice Principal, The supervisors will now introduce the doctoral candidates.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Rian Frederik Meeser, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Mechanical Engineering with a thesis titled Optimizing Vehicle Velocity Profiles in Real Time, prepared under my supervision as well as Professor Nico Tron as co-supervisor. In this thesis, Optimizing Vehicle Velocity Profiles in Real Time, the candidate explored an innovative approach to reduce energy requirements for underground vehicles. Knowing expected future requirements and the historical and current vehicle parameter states is essential for successful optimization. To this end, a novel route identification strategy was developed that exploits patterns in magnetic heading and barometric altitude, facilitating real-time identification of underground routes. The developed method didn't require external communication, simplified implementations, reduced system cost, and increased robustness. A real-time vehicle mass estimation strategy was developed that provides mass estimates for the vehicle, including towed payloads, facilitating accurate estimation of energy requirements. A real-time velocity profile optimization strategy was developed that uses identified route data and logistical constraints to yield optimal velocity profiles that can adapt to unforeseen situations in real time. This study complements current efforts to realize autonomous and energy-efficient underground vehicle control for application in mechanized mining. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Johan Meinhard Bauer, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Mechanical Engineering with a thesis titled The Shape Optimization of Compliance Structures for Desired Step-Through Low Displacement Paths, prepared under my supervision as well as Professor Volke as co-supervisor. In his thesis, the candidate alters the paradigm used to develop multidisciplinary approaches to overcome the limitations of conventional optimization methods. The research significantly improves the efficiency and effectiveness of simulation in the loop and surrogate-based optimization strategies by employing analytical sensitivity analyses. A key innovation of this framework is a proposal for a new framework that creates the accuracy of predictions made by isotropic kernel-based spatiotemporal surrogate models. The improvement is achieved through a novel pre-processing technique that transformed the coordinate system to establish an isotropic framework of an originally anisotropic design problem. The transformation was particularly innovative because it utilizes gradient information previously neglected during the initial phases of surrogate construction. The techniques proposed in the thesis markedly reduce the computational resources required to solve these design problems and elevate the quality of the resulting optimal designs. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you John James Birchall, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Electronic Engineering with the thesis titled Advancing Environmental, Social and Governance Outcomes Through Process Optimization and Control, prepared under my supervision as well as Professor Ian Craig as co-supervisor. In his thesis, the candidate explores 2 case studies using advanced process optimization and control to support environmental, social and governance outcomes in metallurgical operations. Organizations are increasingly integrating these objectives into their strategies due to stricter regulations and stakeholder pressure for sustainability, driving a trend towards socially responsible investing. The first case study introduces an evolutionary strategy to improve contaminant feed consistency in a base metal refinery, enhancing throughput, product quality, and reducing harmful emissions. The second case study develops a nonlinear model predictor controller for a level control in a surge tank of a tailings reprocessing circuit, improving water recovery and stabilizing mass flow despite significant disturbances. These solutions enhance downstream efficiency, lower emissions, reduce waste, conserve resources, and decrease in energy consumption, thereby supporting responsible resource management and reducing the environmental footprint of industrial processes. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Isaac Jean-Pierre Cameron, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Metallurgical Engineering with a thesis titled Fundamental Study of Tapo Clay Behavior with Respect to the Binder System, an Evaluation of Alternative Non-Toxic Binders, prepared under my supervision as well as Dr. Satish Ramji as co-supervisor. In his thesis, the candidate described the critical properties that a Tapo clay binder should have based on the characterization of a conventional coal tar binder. After identifying these critical properties, alternative non-toxic binders were examined to potentially replace the currently used toxic high-temperature coal tar binders. The investigated alternative binders included a broad spectrum from petroleum-based binders to sugar alcohols, with the aim of reducing the carcinogenic nature of the clay due to the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon content of the binder. A ranking process was used to identify the most suitable binders to replace coal tar in Tapo clays. The top 2 selected binders were then evaluated in a model Tapo clay formulation. A glycerine and phenolic resin mixture proved to be the best alternative. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I could request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Benjamin Katerere Gwashavanu, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Mechanical Engineering with a thesis titled Development and Application of a Photogrammetry-Based Statistical Shape Analysis Technique for Condition Monitoring of Rotating Structures, prepared under my supervision, as well as Professor Stefan Heinz as co-supervisor. In this thesis, the candidate developed a technique that can be used to identify, classify, and quantify machine faults through image processing. A statistical-based boundary analysis approach was used to extract structural vibration data from sequences of images captured using high-speed cameras. Unlike conventional photogrammetry techniques, which typically require specimen surface preparation using markers and speckle patterns, the developed approach circumvented this requirement by analyzing changes in the boundary shape outline of an operating machine's component. Results from numerical and experimental investigations demonstrate that the shape-based approach advances the applicability of photogrammetry to industrial applications where surface preparation is impractical due to structure size, operating conditions, or production losses associated with machine shutdown. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Arnold Alexander Janssen, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Chemical Engineering with a thesis titled Plasma Destruction of Scrap Rubber, Theoretical and Experimental Underpinnings, prepared under the supervision of Professor P.L. Krause, as well as myself as co-supervisor. In this thesis, the candidate explored the production of synthesis gas from scrap rubber tires in a process window from up to 1,100 degrees Celsius. In a single reactor, two-step process is proposed in which the rubber is first pyrolyzed to yield carbon char, followed by gasification of the char using the reversed boudoir reaction, i.e. the reaction between carbon and carbon dioxide. Extensive experimental work was completed at the milligram scale using thermogravimetric analysis, at the 10-gram scale using videographic evidence generated in a tube furnace, and at kilogram scale employing a continuous feed plasma reactor. This resulted in an industry-ready flow sheet for the transportable plasma gasification facility suitable for various reactor designs. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Chinangi Fabrice Kapir, who has complied with all the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Industrial and Systems Engineering with a thesis titled Integration of Multi-State Systems in a Series of Economic Production Quantity Models for Deteriorating Products, which was conducted under my supervision and that of Professor Yedavali. Effective production and inventory management are crucial in today's fast-paced business environment, especially for organizations dealing with perishable products. The recent transformation in manufacturing, driven by Industry 4.0 technologies, highlights the need for flexible production systems. However, the state of machines, whether in control or out of control, makes it complex due to aging machinery, usage, and breakdowns. In this thesis, the candidate developed lot-sizing models for deteriorating products, considering factors such as scalability of the systems, raw material quality, production quality, pricing of the product and the input, stock quantities, the shelf life of the products, and the multi-echelon nature of the supply chains that deliver them, and corporate social responsibility. The results show that decision makers can optimize their systems well and meet customer demand while keeping their systems more cost efficient rather than shutting them down. Multi-state systems offer flexibility by operating at different performance levels when 100% performance of the systems cannot be guaranteed. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request that you confer the degree on the candidates. Thank you. He's emotional. And I think he deserves it. He has a very, very strong story to tell.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Rachel Kufakunesu, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Electronic Engineering with a thesis titled Energy Efficient Adaptive Data Rate Optimization Scheme for LoRaWAN, prepared under the supervision of Professor G.P. Hunker. In this thesis, the candidate explored an innovative approach to enhance energy efficiency in low-power wide-area networks, mainly focusing on low-range wide-area network or LoRaWAN technology in the Internet of Things. The research recognized the battery life constraint in resource-limited LoRaWAN end devices and the need for optimized data transmission strategies. To address this, she pioneered a novel approach, a fuzzy logic-based adaptive data rate, or FLADR scheme. This innovative scheme dynamically adjusts transmission settings such as spreading factor and transmission power based on real-time network conditions. The candidate's research demonstrated that FLADR significantly reduces energy consumption compared to existing algorithms, leading to extended network lifetime for LoRaWAN deployments. Secondly, the candidate considered the presence of interference in LoRaWAN networks and developed a stochastic-based adaptive data rate protocol called SSFIR-ADR that considerably improves packet delivery ratio with collision avoidance and minimizes interference while conserving energy. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce you to Nzita Alain Lelo, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Mechanical Engineering with a thesis titled Development of an Approach to Incorporate Proportional Hazard Modeling into a Risk-Based Inspection Methodology for an Optimal Inspection Policy, prepared under my supervision as well as Professor Johan Vandenberg as co-supervisor. In his thesis, the candidate proposed a novel approach to improve quantitative risk assessment of industrial pressure vessels operating at high temperatures. This approach incorporated proportional hazards modeling, a statistical procedure to estimate the risk of failure for a system for which condition monitoring information is available, in addition to usage time. This integration of methodologies explicitly enhanced the estimation of the probability of failure. The consequence of failure was based on boiling liquid expanding vapor explosion theory. It is illustrated that the approach presented in his work can contribute significantly towards more effective and practical integrity management of high-temperature pressure vessels. The results of this investigation were published in the Journal of Quality in Maintenance Engineering. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Chantal Monica Niebuhr, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Civil Engineering with a thesis titled Development of a Wake and Backwater Prediction Approach for Hydrokinetic Turbines, prepared under my supervision as well as Professor Lelani Smith as co-supervisor. In this thesis, Development of a Wake and Backwater Prediction Approach for Hydrokinetic Turbines, the candidate proposed a novel method for simplifying the prediction of wake and backwater effects from hydrokinetic installations. Exploring hydrokinetic turbines in inland water systems revealed promising opportunities for advancing renewable energy. However, a comprehensive understanding of hydrodynamic effects, particularly with confined subcritical flow regimes, was essential before practical implementation. Existing analytical approximations for wake determinations lacked consideration for operational conditions, and the literature lacked sufficient approaches for backwater determination. The candidate addressed these gaps, and the results introduced a semi-empirical model that incorporated influential metrics to predict wake generation and flow recovery. Implementing new solutions in renewable energy is crucial for future goals. Validated through verified computational fluid dynamics simulations, the model assists in strategic turbine placement, reducing uncertainties and risks in inland hydrokinetic schemes, making it a more viable and dependable energy source. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate.
Well done.
Congratulations.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Alicia Pritrat, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Chemical Engineering with the thesis titled Multi-Species Bacterial Attachment to A106GB Industrial Finished Steel Used in Heat Exchangers, prepared under the supervision of Professor Evans Chira and myself as co-supervisor. In this thesis, multi-species bacterial attachment to A106GB industrial finished steel used in heat exchangers, the candidate conducted novel research on the attachment mechanisms and synergistic behavior of multi-species biofilms on steel in petrochemical industry. The candidate demonstrated that bacterial behavior culminated in corrosion and protection of steel material, whilst the cells benefited through supply of nutrients. Using advanced methods like third-generation sequencing, AFM, the candidate quantified the biofilm surface and addressed significant gaps in literature regarding cell surface attachment. The findings revealed that rough surfaces increase corrosion rates due to the selective bacterial attachment. The candidate's work, published in reputable international journals, recommended an optimal smooth surface finish to mitigate corrosion. This study also advances our understanding of cell surface interactions and paves the way for future research on bacteria in green hydrogen solutions. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Engineering in Chemical Engineering. Philip de Bruin. Franco Pretorius with distinction. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Engineering in Electrical Engineering. Anesu Doma with distinction. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Engineering in Industrial Engineering, Brighton Beloy, with distinction. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering. Pieter Besuidenhout, with distinction. Ulrich de Pre, with distinction. Ruan Durant. Duncan McGee, with distinction. Simeon Pinar, with distinction. Bongani Zulu. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Engineering in Metallurgical Engineering. Johannes Stein. Mfasani Chazi, with distinction. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Engineering in Transportation Engineering. Genevieve Ankunda, with distinction. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Engineering in Water Resources Engineering, Annelies Scholes, with distinction. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Science in Applied Science in Metallurgy, Rutendo Matengaifa. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Engineering, Honours in Control Engineering, Msebe Simalani. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Engineering, Honours in Electrical Engineering. Bansendeka Nyungu. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Engineering, Honours in Industrial Engineering, Papalelu Chaba. Mashau Mufamadi. Sipelele Shabangu. Shani van Kraaienburg. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Engineering Honours in Mechanical Engineering. Daniel Bangure. Nteteng Matunyani. Tembinkosi Ngwenya. Richard Warren. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Engineering Honours, Metallurgical Engineering in Welding Engineering. Quintus Fourie, with distinction. Samuel Liversage. Itani Manenze. Puti Ramoroka. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Engineering Honours in Water Utilisation Engineering. David Busigu. Tinashi Nyauma. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science Honours, Applied Science in Chemical Technology. Diniu Gautalwe. Luvuyu Shabalala. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science Honours, Applied Science in Industrial Systems. Jonas Buddha. Salaelo Khoale. Glenn Rachabedi. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science Honours, Applied Science in Mechanics. Ndumisu Mtembu. Mpiana Mutombo. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science Honours, Applied Science in Mechanics, Physical Asset Management. Sipesihle Nzoia. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science Honours, Applied Science in Water Utilisation. Ayanda Duma. Sanele Kubeka. Monica Massina. Sandiselwe Mtiani with distinction. Neria Siubai. Moramokele Sequeira. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Engineering in Civil Engineering. Reratile Baloy. Jean-Pierre Fritz. Gugu Masombuka. Mpo Motuachai. Carlton Stuurman. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Engineering in Computer Engineering. Kanayachuku Asomugwa. Jordan Burmeister. Stefan Prinsloo. Raga Veltapu. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical Engineering. Mohammed Hira. Aaron Kasompe. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Engineering in Industrial Engineering. Louis Bradell. Tashinga Kumbula. Siku Piana. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering. Mohammed Ahmed. Uwetu Sibi. Lennart Hordijk. Redi Junarkar. David Kasirori. Julome Malan. Turwani Maloka. Munashi Mashayahanya. Nomtandazu Mshlochwa. Lebogang Nisi. Cyril Mohale. Karabu Mugere. Retabile Muswani. Emanuela Mupemba. Apiwe Nkobo. Julan Nkandiu Kameni. Pumlani Nchangazi. Marco Vermeulen. Luyanda Zwane. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Engineering in Metallurgical Engineering. Lesetja Koka. Mpo Malisha. Ruvimbu Musewe. Didintle Panani. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Engineering in Mining Engineering. Tumelu Toku. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the supervisors will now introduce the doctoral candidates.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, I introduce to you Leonard Staphorst, who has complied with the requirements for the degree of Philosophy in Technology Management with a thesis titled Technology Forecasting for National Research and Education Networks using Structural Equation Modeling-Based Context-Sensitive Data Fusion, prepared under my supervision as well as Professor Martinez Pretorius as co-supervisor. In his thesis, the candidate developed a generic framework for context-sensitive technology forecasting, which was then applied in the National Research and Education Networking Technology domain. This framework used structural equation modeling with partial least squares regression analysis to implement context-sensitive data fusion. Model instantiations capable of transversely and longitudinally forecasting technology parameters such as network reach and core traffic levels were evaluated using secondary data from the Trans-European Research and Education Network Association compendiums. Inherent strengths and weaknesses of the framework, such as the inclusion of context-related information, the modeling of complex interrelationships, model misspecification, and overfitting during regression analysis were also assessed. The research produced through this study has received international recognition for its methodological rigor, comprehensive analyses, and significant contributions to technology management. Madam Acting Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Congratulations.
Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Engineering in Engineering Management. Elsie Coetzee with distinction. Gloria Di Todi. Charles de Tooy with distinction. Motlalepule Machitye. Mabdinogi Mpule. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Engineering in Technology and Innovation Management, Wiseman Gumedi. Matthew McFarlane with distinction. Onalena Motsiminyani. Ndimiseni Ngwenya. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Science in Engineering Management, Tivumu Ramakokovu. Olebogeng Sepiri. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Science in Project Management, Mokeseng Matsoso. Chakala Mpafi. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Science in Technology Management in Technology and Innovation Management, Sudhir Kunwer. Lindiwe Malibai. Fulufelu Masuta. Busisiwe Mutaung. Susan Natuyamba. Ranolda Ramutlwa. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Engineering Honours in Engineering and Technology Management. Michlali Tlulani. Tebogo Ledwaba. Jason Mabasu. Chegofachu Magoro with distinction. Ofense Mudise. Nandisa Ngumalu. Shunesa Toro with distinction. Philip Wunda. Madam Acting Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science Honours in Engineering and Technology Management. Kagisu Kekana. Lobulawu Koza. Trent Lebea. Tamaga Makua. Busisiwe Mbelo. Mchembu Mdaka. Asipe Mshlupeki. Maglomola Motudi. Makosazani Nkosi. Nontobeku Nyandeni. Sandisiwe Niembe. Romesh Pillay. Lebogang Ramafalo. Ofani Ramavoya. Tolofelu Saloru. Jessica Southerns with distinction. Ntabising Chabalala.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give our graduates a round of applause for their hard work and perseverance. And now I would like to ask our graduates to applaud their families, friends, and spouses for all their support over many years. We have now come to the end of the proceedings, and before we close, I would like to invite all present for refreshments outside the aula. You are requested to stand for the singing of the national anthem and to remain standing until the assembly has dissolved and the academic procession has left the auditorium. The words of the national anthem will appear on the screens. Please rise. By the powers vested in me, I hereby dissolve this assembly of the University of Pretoria.